Hello,
and welcome.
Glan Afan School's news report. I'm Oliver.
And I'm Bethan. Our top story today features a talk with Mr. Tate, based all around the new school, Bay Baglan.
But first of all, we're heading over to Rebecca and Libby, who are reporting on the junior doctor strike and Sunday trading.
Over to you, Rebecca and Libby.
15 years ago, Sunday trading laws were introduced, which meant that Sunday was no longer a day of rest, but a day of consumerism. However, recent proposals to trend Sunday opening hours for larger shops have been abandoned. Is this a wise move? Today we're speaking to Richard from the shop selections in Station Road for Talbot. Are you glad the plans for extending Sunday trading hours have been abandoned for larger stores?
I am glad. It would have been a lot of extra pressure on my staff to have to work extra on Sundays, and really I believe in staff having time off with their families at least one day a week.
Do you believe that if extending Sunday's trading had gone ahead, it would have affected you as a shop?
I believe we would have had more pressure to have opened on a Sunday. As it is now, we only open on a couple of Sundays up till Christmas, and that's enough work. It doesn't mean there'd be any more extra money around the town to spend, so it would be. I'm glad it hasn't gone ahead.
Thank you for speaking with us today. Thank you. Ministers and junior doctors in England are locked in an argument, but what exactly is this row about? The government are insisting that junior doctors have to work more hours for less pay. The strike, which lasts 48 hours over yesterday and today, has resulted in more than 5,000 non-emergency operations and procedures across England being cancelled. However, junior doctors will provide emergency care on Wednesday and Thursday.
We spoke to GP Geraint Warlow, who completed his training as a junior doctor both in England and Wales. This is what he had to say. Junior doctors are expected to work extremely long hours in stressful and busy jobs. Jeremy Hunt's proposal to increase hours for less pay is dangerous and unsafe. As junior doctors, we expect to work long hours to gain experience, but doctors are humans and mistakes are made when working hours are unsustainable. In addition, we spoke to Dr. Lucy Thomas, a previous head girl of Glan Afan. At present, Lucy works in Bridgend Hospital. She has worked from 9 to 5 since Monday and will continue to work until next Friday, including 2 12-hour shifts on the weekend. That's 12 days working with not any time off.
Lucy said that most of her university friends work in the English Health Service and will be seriously affected by the new contracts. She told us that many very good doctors are thinking of moving away to Australia or New Zealand, where working conditions are better. But more worryingly, many are considering giving up the profession altogether. Back to Oliver and Bethan in the studio.
Thank you, Libby and Rebecca, for that interesting report.
Now, over to our main story with Katie and Lauren.
Take it away, guys.
Thank you for coming to speak to us again today. And we hope to gather some new and exciting news about the developments of the new school, Bay Baglan.
Firstly, we'd like to start off by asking you how you're feeling now that the developments are well underway.
Well, we've got less than 6 months to go now. It seems it's a year since we were last talking. We've got 6 months to go. It's not a lot of time. Now we are, we're ahead of the game, but 6 months is not a lot of time to get everything that we need to do done, because there's an awful lot to continue to be finished. Not just the build, but obviously all the policies and the practice and working with the students as well, so that you know what's happening when we're opening. So yeah, I'm excited still, but very, very busy because we've got so much to do.
How do you think the facilities and the large range of options are going to benefit the pupils now that we actually know what's going to be there?
Well, the range of options I think is really important. We've got the largest range of options of any school in Neath Talbot, which is really, really important. Now the facilities support that. So we've got a construction area, we've got our own motor vehicles garage, we've got our own electronics room, and we've got a music suite, an art suite. But as well as that, we'll be offering triple science, lots of different maths opportunities. So we're offering something for everybody.
Is the building of the school on schedule, and have you been down there recently to observe the progress being made?
Yep, I try and get down there every week. It's on progress. The things to report at the moment, when you actually go into the building at the moment, all the rooms are painted. You can walk into all the science labs and all the furniture is in the science labs. All the fixed furniture is in the design technology rooms. What we're looking to do at the moment is finish rooms, and once we finish them we can sign them off and we can sort of lock the door, as it were, and then move on to the next room. The big push at the moment is all the sporting facilities outside, the specialist sporting facilities, the 3G rugby pitch, the sand-based AstroTurf pitch, the running track, the outdoor netball and basketball courts. Those are all in the process of being built at the moment, so that's a big push on all the outside facilities.
How do you think the pupils are feeling about the opening of the new school now this only 6 months away?
Well, I hope they're feeling like me. So in many respects, excited, but I'm sure there's anxiety as well. Because it's a new school, isn't it? And we've got 4 schools coming together. You're all used to the schools you're in, but we'll try and make things as smooth as possible. And of course, it's a new building. It's going to be a new way of getting over to the school, and when you're there, you're not going to know your way around. And also, I know you're talking to Mr. Davis later about some of the things we're looking to do with technology in the school. So the approach to learning in the school is going to be very, very different as well. So I hope people are excited. I'm sure people are excited, but I'm sure there's anxiety mixed in that as well. And what we've got to have to do from September is really look at how we reduce that anxiety.
Well, wasn't that interesting? I can't wait for the new school. How about you, Oliver?
Same here, Beth. It's going to be great and shall improve the education standard of the area. Speaking of the new school, we will now head over to Dina and Casey Jane, who are conversing to Mr. Davis about the Surface Pros.
I am Casey. I'm Dina. And we are outside Mr. Davis's office. We're going to ask him a few questions about the Surface Pro. Let's go. Hello.
Oh, hi girls.
Thank you for agreeing to speak with us, Mr. Davis. We would like to ask you a few questions about the Surface Pro that will be featured in the new school at School by Baglan. Firstly, what is a Surface Pro and how does it work?
Well, Surface Pro is just a computer or a tablet, whichever one you want to prefer, all right? So sometimes when I'm in class I might use the Surface Pro. It's just like a computer at home or a Surface at home or a tablet at home. And I can use it like a tablet. I can have apps on it and I can have Windows programs, like Microsoft Word and things like that. Sometimes I'll work here. And it's got the magic of having a pen as well, so I can write on the surface. And as well as that, I've got my keyboard. So if I want to do some typing, I can knock myself out.
Interesting. So why did you pick the Surface Pro over any other product?
Well, the main reason, I suppose, is because of this thing in my hand now, right? I think it's really important that pupils, we don't let computers take over what we're doing in school, and the power of the pen is really important. So I wanted a device where pupils could carry on using a pen, could use a pen to do writing, could also use a pen to work the machine, but most importantly to be creative. And that means that with a pen, we can not just do, like type a report, but we can use this like an artist pen. We can use it to stave music, to score music. We can use it to peer assess each other's work and write comments on, or we can use it to help our reading by highlighting. So one of the most important things when I was choosing a device for Baglan is the power of the pen.
Do you think the school would benefit from the Surface Pros?
Well, what do you think? If you were off school for a day, and you couldn't access your work, if you missed a lesson because I don't know, let's say you went to a music lesson, to learn, with your peripatetic teacher, and you missed some of the maths lesson. Wouldn't it be great if all the notes that the maths teacher had made on the board you could go look at break time because they were on your Surface Pro? Wouldn't it be great if you were off school, and wouldn't it be great if when the time ran out in the lesson, the teacher, after the lesson, could write a few more notes. So if you wanted to push yourself and do an extra exercise, you could read the extra stuff that the teacher had put on and do an extra exercise. And wouldn't it be great for you if instead of carrying around 12 textbooks and 12 exercise books, and you've got the power of this at home, And wouldn't it be great as well as having all those exercise books that you've got now, you've got the internet as a resource. So where instead of the teacher giving you a book and saying read page 12, the teacher can now say, how about you tell me what you can find out in the next 10 minutes about Paris? And what that means is engaging you more with responsibility for your own learning. And I think that's really powerful.
Yeah. Thanks for your time. After being informed of what Surface Pros are, we can't wait to get our hands on them and have a go at ourselves.
There we are.
Thank you for that enlightening conversation.
Hey, I bet by the time the new school opens, all the teachers will be tech pros.
Next up, we have Rebecca and Lauren speaking to the head of English, Miss Mandale, on Glan Afan's memorial book.
Hello, Mrs. Mandale. Thank you for taking your time to speak to us today.
We'd love to know some information on the Glan Afan Memory Book launch.
Can you tell us a bit about it?
Well, the memory book launch is happening next Thursday night in the hall between 6 and 7 for the contributors to the book and their parents and for the governors and for staff. And then after that, we're going to launch it to the rest of the school, so you'll all be able to buy a copy. And the evening is going to consist of people reading pieces from the book. So some of the contributors from last year's Year 11 are coming back to read their pieces, and some pupils who are in the school now, and some of the staff are going to read their pieces. Mr. Rees is going to read his poem, which is about a box of chocolates, which is very good. So I'm looking forward to that.
Also, we've heard some exciting news that former pupil and superstar Michael Sheen has contributed a piece. What is it about?
Well, he's written a lovely piece actually, which is all about his memories of going through Glan Afan from the first day when he started right through to Year 11, and the things they used to eat in the canteen then, which are very similar to the things that you can buy and eat in the canteen now, and also about his childhood romances, which is nice.
Thank you for speaking to us today and giving us some information about the memory book.
Are you aware that the 14th of March is Pie Day?
Wow, I can't wait.
No, Oliver, not that kind of pie.
What other kind of pie is that?
Maths kind of pie. We're here to talk to Mr. Lewis about that.
So, sir, what is pi?
Hi, well, funny you should mention that. I'm just doing a little circle calculation here, where we're working out the area of a circle, and it involves this mathematical symbol, pi. And pi is a measurement we obtain by taking the circumference of the circle and dividing it by the diameter. And it's a ratio of two numbers, which, funny, we should talk about it. It actually goes on forever, but we tend to use just 2 decimal places to make the maths calculation that little bit easier.
Ooh. Very interesting. Have you done anything different to celebrate Pie Day?
Well, as part of the Welsh Assembly government's initiative to raise the standards of numeracy, we did have a little different lesson today when we looked at all the properties of circles, and we actually worked out the value of pi by measuring the circumference and the diameter of different objects. We looked at dinner plates, we looked at sharpeners, we looked at coins, and we looked at, in the yard, the netball court. And we went out and actually did some measurements of this and actually got close to the value of pi.
Ooh, interesting. So, what is Pi Day all about?
Well, Pi Day is all part of the Welsh Assembly's initiative to raise numeracy and make numeracy interesting for children, which I think is a very important point, to get children involved in mathematics and see that it's actually used in the real world, so we can work out areas of shapes that actually exist and use that as part of other calculations, and obviously then let the children see that we can use this numeracy in sort of all practical ways, which is very important.
Well, wasn't that interesting? We can't wait for Pi Day. Next, we're going to Casey, Dina and Lauren to interview Miss Jones and Lauren about Youth Speaks.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. We'll let you go back to teaching now.
Thank you very much.
So recently, 3 Year 10 pupils took part in a Youth Speaks competition. Here is Mrs. Jones and Lauren, who will explain in more detail about it.
How did you decide on what pupils you would put through you thought would be best for Youth Speaks?
Well, I spoke to the teachers, and the English teachers in particular said that Lauren and Bethan and Amy would be really good, particularly since some of them had had experience with the Paw Prints project. So it was just on recommendation of the teachers.
Were you proud of the pupils that took part?
Really proud of them. They worked really hard, they prepared well, they were confident, they didn't make mistakes, and the speeches were genuine and detailed. So yeah, I felt really, really proud of how they did.
Now, Lauren, how did you prepare?
Well, firstly, Miss Jones came up with the main topic for our argument. So she decided to do whether girls should be best friends with their mother. And I feel that that was a good topic, as all of our girls could relate to it. And, well, to prepare, we came up to Miss Jones's room every morning, and we just ran through the speeches. And practice, we did it in front of fellow pupils and many teachers.
How did you feel about winning Best Proposer for the motion?
Oh, well, I was overwhelmed. I was so happy to win because all the hard work we'd put into it, so I was really happy to win. It was just the icing on the cake.
Thank you for your time and answering our questions.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for agreeing to come and speak to us today. We'd like to gather some information about the success of the show and also about the upcoming Glammy Awards. Would you like to start off by telling us a bit about how the show went?
Yeah, the show was brilliant. It exceeded my expectations. The children worked really hard. They did a 3-night run at the Princess Royal Theatre to over 400 people, and everybody who reviewed it said they really enjoyed it, so I was really pleased with them all. Well done.
As you know, it's the last school show for Glan Afan to host. Do you feel the pupils did it justice?
Oh, more than did it justice. The pressure was on, and they not only met the bar, but they exceeded the bar. And like I say, everybody that came to see it was giving glowing reports, so I was really pleased with everybody that took part.
It is clear that both the main cast and the chorus did an outstanding performance, and hopefully their hard work will pay off in the Glammy Awards. How are you feeling about this upcoming event?
I'm excited. It's always a really nice event, and it's brilliant for the staff and the students to go and have their hard work talked about and reviewed on a professional circuit, and I'm hopeful that we should take some awards home with us as well, which would be fab.
Last year, Anything Goes won the award for Best Performance. Do you think Little Shop of Horrors could win this award? This would be a huge achievement and an excellent way for the show to end. Don't you agree?
Yes, I do. I think it would be fantastic to win. The other groups in the category are really strong as well, but even if we didn't win the overall award, I don't think that should take anything away from what we did, because we worked really hard and I was really pleased with it, and I think the students who were involved were really proud of their work. So regardless of the trophy, if we win, it would be fantastic, but if we don't, I'm still really proud of what we did.
Our final topic we want to cover is the finale show that will be taking place in July. Would you care to share some information about this?
So we are inviting lots of past staff and students to take part. I'm hoping it will be a token gesture to the rich history of music and drama at this school.
It's been really nice coming here to speak to you and wish you the best of luck for the preparations for the upcoming events.
Thank you, girls. Now over to Alfie and Aaron, covering sports.
Knock it out of the park, boys.
Keegan, how do you feel about joining the development squad?
I feel very proud because I wasn't expecting it, because it's under 14s and I was 12. But it feels good to know that someone spotted me with all the 14-year-olds.
Chloe, how do you feel about joining the county team?
When I trialled, I thought they all called their names out for development, and I thought there's no chance of getting into county because they're all 14 and I was never going to get a chance. But when they called my name out, I was absolutely amazed because I felt that someone had spotted me and thought that I am a good player.
How do you feel about getting to the finals of the county tournament?
Very happy. I don't think we expected it, to be honest.
Yeah, we played against the team that was from, a couple of girls were from county with me, and they were really good players, but in the end we won it just by a couple of points.
Yeah.
And we were very happy.
Yeah.
Was it hard?
It was extremely hard,
We played 7 games.
We played 7 games and they were really tough games, but we got there.
Well done, Mr. Lewis, on your achievement of number 1 over 800 metres in Wales. Can we ask you a few questions?
Certainly.
Whilst being an awesome maths teacher and head of maths in Glan Afan School, you also run for Wales and Aberdare. What inspired you to start running?
Right, well, really, the thing that inspired me to start running was my son. My son started playing football. He's 10 now, and he started playing football about 5 years ago. And if I'm honest with you, I just didn't want to be the fat dad on the side anymore, and I wanted to get a bit more active. So I had an operation on my knee to sort out some damage from when I was younger, and the physiotherapist in the hospital got me back into sport, and I just basically started chasing my son around, and I'm still chasing after him now.
What is your favourite moment of your running career?
I have 2 favourite moments, really. The first one was when I won a race called the Kilomathon in Scotland, and the finish line for the Kilomathon was in Murrayfield Stadium where the Six Nations rugby is played. And as I ran down the straight, realising I was going to win the race, I was running into Murrayfield Stadium, and that was just an awesome feeling. The other thing that I'm very proud of is when I first pulled on my first Welsh vest. Now, it's taken me a long time to get that, almost sort of 45 years actually, but when I wore that and Run for Wales, I felt incredibly proud of that achievement as well.
What are you aspiring to achieve in the next few years?
I'm hoping to run cross-country for Wales and run as part of the Wales 45 to 55 team. And they do have some awesome runners, and they finish very highly in Britain, and it's a very high standard. So I'm hoping to continue my progress and carry on running for Wales and be part of that team as well.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Good luck for your future endeavours.
Thank you, boys.
Hey all, have you noticed how nice it is out today?
Gosh, I have, Beth. If only there was a way we could tell if it was going to remain like this.
Wait, there is.
What?
Over to you, Libby and Aaron, with the weather.
Today, it's going to be sunny with some highs of 11 degrees.
Tomorrow, it will be sunny with clouds, a high as 9 degrees.
Well, that's all from us today.
Hasn't it been a blast?
We've been your presenters, and this has been
BBC School News Report.